car. A way to just take this whole entire thing together is we're going to take the hinges on that door, we're going to take the nadir on this door, and then we're going to cut up here, and then we're going to cut down low. So we'll take this whole entire thing off as kind of a unit. So let's start by topping some doors. We're going to show how to spread the door to create that purchase point. So if you guys are needing to create a purchase point, another option we have. If you're walking up and you're like, I have no purchase point, I need to make one. Watch the door seam when he does this. So set it right here. Let it eat and see how wide that gets. And it's closing right where you have it. So now you can see that whole entire thing. Come around here and take a look. You have easy access to the native fan. We haven't affected the patient at all. We've created space. The other thing you can do is sometimes you can come up here and you can collapse this with the jaws and it will open this gap up. It'll cause that fender to roll. So you can grab this fender and crunch it and it'll open that up. It is not super effective, but it does work sometimes. I'll leave it all the way open. There you go. Take a bite. Just makes enough space in there where you can see your hinges. It didn't pull it just a whole lot. We already had a hole there, but it pulled it just a little bit. Yeah. So sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But if you're having trouble, and you know, engine 22 is 2 guys, we have critical. We're both working, moving, rather than wait for that Halligan to get here. If you're standing here with spreaders, you may want to try that. Just clamp, crush it, see if it gains you enough you can start working until you get more tools there. It may not work. You may have to go a different route. You may have to go. You can do this same thing on the front end, on the front. Just try to stay up here, but you have to be mindful that it's going to want to roll. So don't get all the way up here. Kind of get right in here, and you can do the same thing. That same tactic we use on the other side by taking the spreader and just slamming it into the side of the car to make that purchase point spread out. Works really good on that front fender because there's no structure behind it. So as soon as you go to hit like right here, it wants to pull that front side out and just will expose that. But think about attacking a door just like you do forcible entry. So forcible entry, we're not going to pry at the top or the bottom of the door if the deadbolt's in the middle, right? So think of these as a deadbolt. You just have 2 of them here and then you have 1 of them here. We want to attack them right above or right below, and that's going to put that force that we're exerting on the door right where the resistance is at. And that's the name of the game. You have less likelihood of ripping the door apart if you stay at the hinge. If you start way high and you're just sending it, you start ripping that metal, and then once it's ripped, you're done. Like you have no structure to the door anyway. You might as well just get the cutters and start cutting it away. So he's exposed the nadir here, so somebody grab those cutter or the spreaders and slide down right next to where your resistance is at and open that thing up. Somebody besides me is seeing. He's already down the door. Someone that hasn't ran tools. Not that. You get it. Yeah. Taylor, now you can cut it. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I was thinking about the last time that we opened up that other door, the lock mechanism came with it.
So the metal in that the metal that they use in the base of the fence. Cutting this.
Yeah.
Not here. So when it turns up where you can cut that, not grabbing inside here. That's
I initially tried to do with the sweater, but see, and it wouldn't pop that thing at all. Beautiful. This is awesome. That's killer.
Please, you want to cut the hinges off of this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nope.
No.
We're not doing that.
We're going to take this whole piece, 2 doors and a B-post all together. That door may end up falling off once they pop the hinges. It might fall off the native.
No, it's got. Yeah. Try the top one. Sometimes hinges you do have to cut.
Yep. Beautiful. That's it.
Work it down.
Keep going. Open it up. Now you got access. Now
It's going to peel back on that side again. He has to go.
Now go right above it. Right above it. No. I would come in more straight with it.
Go straight in.
You can try that, but I think it's going to rip your door.
Alright, so the whole goal of this is to open up the entire side of this car with as least cuts as possible. So somebody asked if we were going to start cutting the hinges over here, we're going to cut the nadir here, we're going to try to leave this shit all together. Because if we can do that, we can pull it off in one piece and it's just less work for everybody and faster. So somebody with the cutters, anybody with the cutters, we're going to cut top of the B-post. Challenging cut on this one.
Someone that hasn't ran. Montgomery, if you ran tools.
I've read very much. Justin, have you ran anything?
So get the B-post, get it up top. So right now,
I would come right in here. Step it right there.
and if you need to cut the top of that door too, it ain't gonna hurt. It's all coming off. There you go.
Perfect.
So something really important that just kind of something really important and why we keep that person inside the car is he was probably watching it, but look where the tooth of that just cut the top of this headrest.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, like, it doesn't seem like it goes that deep in there, but when you bury that thing, keep in mind where their head's at. And also keep in mind too that the wreck usually causes intrusion and it puts seats and people in places they might not normally be. So that's why it is so important to get somebody in there where you can see what's going on from their perspective. This stuff can look good from out here, but I can promise you if you got a patient with one of those, like, oh buddy, it is not going to be a good day. So just know the awesome capability of those tools and what they can do to a person if we put them in a bad spot. And we are ultimately responsible for taking care of the people, and that's number one. So just make sure, like, so important. So B-post on this, not the easiest thing to get to. We may be able to take a bite out of the back here, and then we may be able to bend that and get to the front. So help him out, try to pull this, give him as much room as he has. And try to get in there and get a low bite in that B-post. Bury that thing. Move stuff out of the room. we're going to do the same thing in the front.
Now you got to
One of the and sometimes in extrication, like you just have to use straight up brute force. Put 2 or 3 people on the door and take that thing.
Because that's gonna pop you.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're not going to get completely through that V-post because the V-post on the bottom, the door supports come up like that. So he cuts the support on this side, the support on this side, and then we can basically bend that sheet metal over. So grab the support, kind of shove it if you can, grab the top of that V-post. So, another reason to have like a knife or something on V-posts or anything. Promise yours work. Grab on top of that and gears. So what that does is it'll expose what's left, and then I mean it's just very little. You get the cutters in there, and just
I'm right behind you.
knock that off.
A lot of times for that one, be attached there when you step back.
Now they have a lot of access.
Alright. Yeah, let's just take it to the back.
Keep them all in there too before, like we're usually pretty quick on the battery and stuff. What makes them
It's so chewed up.
too, if you have like a super bad like gas hole scenario, you might be able to open it up the side. You might be able to get to the switch ports. You might be able to get that seat out of the way. You might be able to cut the seat out. You got to be really careful because you're doing that stuff really close to the pavement.
Built a really neat little tool that could ship one right out of there. Plank, and it comes right with that. Less than $4,000.
One thing you can do though, like it's typically two supports on the back, one on each side. On the back, so even if you cut just this side, that might give you enough room to manipulate this forward to where you can get them out. Just understanding the structure of the seat, how that stuff works, the more time you do it, that one, it'll give you more options in your mind. Not bad. A couple inches of space. What can I do there?
The only thing I would add to cutting that seat back, especially one side, I'm as guilty as anyone with firemen. We don't like to be beat. So if you cut that and go to move this and it doesn't move, what's your next reaction? Just go hard. Shove it, jerk on it. Remember, we're in NBC, we're worried about C-spine. So make sure that you're semi-clear in their spine, or if you move it and they squall, you're done. Don't get to jamming on it and shoving it. You could hurt them more than you already have. So
There's time for next year, like we talked about moving this forward.
it's something to be mindful of. On this side of day, I'll win one way or another. cutters get on it, plenty of it. We still got 5 cuts, so everybody should get some runners on this side. Grab grab that. And if you haven't ever used the sawzall on an extrication type, these wide C posts, perfect for a sawzall. That cutter's up there working on them. If they grab the whole thing, grab that sawzall, run right through it. That way, because even if it's got the power to cut, some of them are wider than this. It's going to take them a while to cut all the way through, open it all the way back up, come from the other side and grab it again, just because they're so wide, but they're not real hard to cut. So grab that sawzall.
And if you can see like that size exposed over there, that's a cheat to left behind you. So let that kind of help decide where you
Let that sawzall on its own. You start putting so much pressure on it, so much force yourself.
pressure doesn't make it glare.
Yeah, I've been on one of the very few extrications I've done. I watched the guy break 3 blades. My sawzall, he kept trying to force it faster. When that, or you just burn them up a little bit. Them are mine, they'll last a while, but
That's what they're doing in training.
Watch where you're
or you just go cut and pick your target.
you got to give it a little bit.
Move this around so it's always married, because that's what it uses. If it's not married to it,
You have to give it pressure. Goes through it.
Go for it, bud.
That's it. Stuck and didn't even get the time out.
if the motor senses a certain amount of resistance, it'll stop it. Don't let it do. That's what's causing that to get jammed. The tool wants to do this because it's hold it up there and push it.
You're almost
We got a few months.
You have to.
told me he did. Like, before we found out he had a grease. We started with the down and over. It goes straight.
Wait, what's tough? And I got both.
You want to watch me throw that headrest?
How about
Other one. Yeah.
so
I
again?
really want to.
Tried to tell Minnesota pick your target. So look at your angle of your cutting.
Yeah.
Where are you going to cut to? Down here. You're going to see him block a little bit and then you come across and that works just fine. The same thing on our extrication tools is that saw fabric and wires will give those things fit. They don't like the heavy metal. So watch that stuff, and if you can cut it with a knife or you can cut it with cable cutters or whatever before you use your sawzall, that'll help you because that'll jam that up way faster than metal will.
Even just these plastic covers. That was fine on it. They'll get
There's
high.
one thing the hydraulic cutters and the reciprocating saw won't cut. This right here. He'll walk through anything else on this car, but he won't cut this son of a bitch right here. Neither one of them.
Alright, where are we at?
This side's free.
We're free.
All I got to beat, you already cut. Oh, yeah, it's ready.
There's no more.
Alright, so whenever you go to take a roof off, like we're obviously pulling off, we're going to leave several edges that are really sharp, so it needs to be as many of you as you can. Good communication. We need to be watching our patient inside. And then if we get hung up, there needs to be somebody that's ready with something to disconnect, whether it's wires or a cut that's not all the way through. So good communication and figure out one guy that's in charge and you're on him.
I don't think that bag's all the way through over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Got a knife for you, but it was still hold it up. Just that.
That bag back here.
There you go.
It would have caught on fire for it.
Oh, fine.
Alright, so we're gonna look straight up. We're gonna go.
Just a little input. Tallest guys here, shorter guys back there. So these guys are the ones that's going to have to reach you out. Coming up and over.
Moving forward right now. Have everything here.
Yeah,
It's gonna be the other way around, right? So, that's where we're going. Because everything's back there. It's like,
I need a slave on. Follow the shot.
oh, 1, 2, 3, up.
Hey, watch your belly on that A-post.
Light though.
Oh, we had 8 of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's it. Like, the more of you that you have, it goes way smoother. Trying to do that with a couple people sucks. Yeah, you want to take 5 for a water break, and then we'll just jump into, we'll do a dash roll. And then after that, we can kind of decide what we want to do.
You guys want to open your third touch to there, that's all.
Yeah. Austin, have you ever gotten to use in a car while people are around? Nope. So we'll put you, when we get done, we'll put you in the driver's seat. Okay. So you're going to be our live victim, guys. So it's a really good experience for you to appreciate like what your patients dealing with, how nervous they are when you think everything is happening. Water!
Oh.
Man, I got my own water. I got my own water. I got my own. Like, oh, she's still in your truck.
fun stuff. No 14 too.
Down, yeah, down, down.
Me and Slade would have had DDs, Chuck.
The only request is they've got me a couple of
Yeah, that's the
Somebody took a picture and I was leaned up against the rail with my feet crossed, like just to kick back over. Working hard.
Like hard, I figured that.
I'm just.
And I got shit so bad. I said, let's stop real quick. I'm running in shit, so let's go get there. I'm not like running in to take a shit, man. Like that guy, take medical calls, and here he comes, and I gotta go poop. So we go to work. What?
Use that.
Exactly. And
You come on, check it out.
it is.
Alright, while we're sitting here cooling off, let's talk about our dashboard process. We already got the roof on, so APOS has to go. You can do a dashboard with the roof on. You just have to disconnect from the APOS, and when you disconnect it, if you leave the roof on, you've got to cut out like a 6 or 8 inch piece of it, so it doesn't pinch. So we got the APOS taken care of, windshield's taken care of, what else we got to do? Yep, we'll pie cut where the rocker panel meets the firewall. And then what's another good place to cut, just to give yourself some room. Yeah, if you can get in between the strut tower and that your support is, just make you a couple of relief cuts. It's not gonna seem real productive, but whenever you start moving some stuff around, if you give it just a little bit of perforation, give it a place to go, then it'll kind of fit in there. You can perforate. Sometimes if you want to get a better cut, you can crush it with spreaders first and then go in the front and make a cut.
You want the real life or vehicle extrication training. Vehicle extrication says that you should peel the front fender back. And then that way you make the cut on the structure of the vehicle, not wasting time cutting the fender. But if you get pretty good gap.
If you have the ability to lift the hood, typical car wreck, like they're going forward and the hood's going to hit something, you're not going to be able to lift it. But if you can, and you can get the hood out of the way, that'll expose like the structure for the side is going to be right above that wheel, right next to the fender's mount. So then if you lift the hood up, you can basically go from the top down and make the cut. The strut tower and the firewall, if you go on the front side of the strut tower, then it won't do very much.
Yeah, I've never been that. So you're talking about just cutting right there, and that would just.
Just make it relief.
That would, I mean, that would cut the whole support.
So just give it close to that.
The rocker panel, got the door off, had a slot for the strut to sit in, so that you can actually put that.
9 times out of 10, like, we bought a Ram because we wanted to have a full set, and there are places for it. 95% of the time on any extrication we're going to do, the Ram you won't ever use unless you get into a really hot spot. Everything that we're going to show you today, you can do with the cutters and spreaders.
Most of the times I've ever used a ram on vehicle extrication is have it built into the console, raise it from the inside, push it forward.
For that last one, that kid, yeah, I was gonna say that kid on the road now. That front that
Because
it folded.
yeah, because that car, the way it folded, it actually ripped the kick panel out, and the kick panel was just bent into a perfect Z shape. And so I just threw the ram in between the A and the B post right there at the kick panel and opened it up, and it just pushed the car right back apart the way it should have been, and then the kid stepped out. tried to step out. We got a little late, so we tried to get out without on power.
Another option too to know about what the RAM is good for. So we've got that like, kind of homemade dash masher thing we made. So there's a 6x6 on the top of the rescue roll, and it is a game changer earlier. You can take that and you can put it across, like if the back doors are still there and somebody's pinned under the dash, you can essentially knock the back windows out, put that 6x6 across there, and then you can get in the middle of the car with the RAM, and you can push forward and just smash that dash forward and give yourself some space. So you can see where it's at. So it's kind of one of those like last ditch efforts. Like if we're doing that, it's a really bad deal. We've already been out of it. So we're starting to run out of options. So RAM box. Just keep in mind that that's there.
Some of this is just water.
There's a main support that goes all the way across the dashes, the bar, usually it's around the bar. But every now and again, they'll tear loose on the sides and you can't get them to roll. And if, like I said, if you can get that ram inside in the middle and get on that bar, you can just push the whole dash apart.
The front of that dash would be like a solid piece of sheet metal, and that's what's called the firewall. That's just for that reason exactly, so it's to keep the engine fire or whatever out of that compartment as long as possible. On the back side of that is that piece of round tube structure, and it is welded to that rocker panel behind the dash. So there's a lot of, this car probably has a foot or more in plastic before you get to actual structure. It's just sitting there, and that stuff, whenever you go to break it, breaks and shreds and crushes into little pieces, and it's the most frustrating thing that you'll ever have to deal with. So if we can leave it intact, and we can make the cuts we're about to make and lift that whole entire thing out of the way and take it out of the way, then that's the best case scenario.
On a lot of vehicles, if they have the fuse panel on the side, like that Impala over there, I bet does, you can pop that fuse panel off right there on the side of the dash, and you can actually look in there and see that bar. But this one looks like it's all solid and covered. I didn't see it, but
It'll be about like right above where that top door hinge is. It'll be somewhere in that area, maybe even a little bit closer to the firewall. I mean, they are solid. Like they're essentially built to keep the engine inside the hood of the car if you didn't rip one. They'll make the engine go down and out instead of into the passer. Alright. Somebody grab tools and put it out here.
Yeah, man.
Layer of pressure stove.
Yeah. Happy day. Hardly any help. It's going to get other plans.
That's sultry.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
That's humidity.
Sultry.
Watch your language.
what?
Let's do this out real quick and see if we can pop this hood just so you can see the front.
Don't cut that cylinder, knock it off there.